Welcome to the Knuckleheads of Liberty.
But it's the issue of gender in sports and the difficulty that we seem to be having with that, whether or not we define it as, classifying by sex, gender, or whatever. It appears that the definitions can be somewhat amorphous, but regardless of whatever the definitions are, we have in the past classified these as divisions between men and women. And when you start muddying the waters, this really impacts women's sports, as people who would not have qualified in the past appear to qualify now. And one of the ones I want to jump in on that with, if we can bring the image up, and it has to do with the women's swimming. And on that, this is one of the biggest disparities we've ever seen, I guess. But where this one swimmer, I guess the person's name is Leah Thomas, but apparently it's just smashing records of the women out there, winning by whole lengths of the pool. Yes, in some of these competitions, and appears to just be able to turn on the jets at will, to win these things. But it begs the question, because not only are they destroying these women's opportunities in sports, but exactly when is this person considered a woman to be in women's sports? When are they not? In this particular case, the person is in the women's locker room and is apparently pre-op, I guess, because when they're dressing, they're exposing themselves to all the women there. And apparently this person still likes to date women as well. So exactly what is it that makes the person qualify in this category? They apparently have a man's body. They have men's genitalia. They still date women. And of course, they're just smashing the women's, records too as well. But I just, it's hard to imagine, what, how this could be fair to women. You guys have any thoughts on this?
She is a lesbian, don't you know, Jason? I mean, crying out loud, you're obviously prejudiced against lesbians that have genitalia. I don't understand that. Really, there's got to be a special place for if one thing only. These people have no shame. I mean, no shame whatsoever. I mean, there's got to be a special place in hell for losers that can't win on a level playing field at all and have to resort to this kind of nonsense. Special place in hell for those types, these types of, I don't know. Okay, it's kind of like I'm lost as to what type of person they are at this point. I don't even really know if they are lesbians or not, okay? I'm just telling you. This is so bad on so many levels that I can't even begin to fathom. And I'd like to be able to wrap my arms around it. Sorry, not gonna.
Well, before I make my comments, I just want to tell YouTube that I am not transphobic as you would think, okay? But this thing is ridiculous. This whole transgender movement is ridiculous. Now, what we have here is the physiology of a human being contradicting or clashing with the psychology of that human being. And transgenders are trying to tell us that the psychology should win. That just because someone feel like a woman or feel like a man, we should honor that. I mean, we have a history going back God knows how many years that men are taller, faster, and stronger. There is no doubt about that. No one argues that point. But yet they are saying it does not make a difference in sports. That men should be able, biological men who claim to be women, should be able to compete. Should really be able to compete with women, and that should give it a level playing field and everything will be nice and wonderful. When you look at the results alone should tell you everything you need to know. Where in competitive sports do you see the kind of difference between first and second place that you're seeing with this Leah Thomas? Where do you see that? I think there was one event where she or he, I guess it's she, won by 38 seconds. Where in competitive swimming or in any sort of competitive sport you see that kind of difference? You could almost go get out of the pool, go have a cup of coffee, and still end up winning the race, given the time between first and second place. But this is a disease. It's gender dysphoria. Okay, it's a sickness, I should say, whatever it is. It's gender dysphoria or gender identity dysphoria. And everybody wants to tell us that it is so brave. It is so brave to come out and say you're really a woman instead of a man. How is it brave? How is it? You are dealing with some sort of disorder that should be treated. And I'm of great sympathy for these people. But you cannot tell me that I am supposed to accept something that is in clear contradiction of science. And these are the people who love to tell us, oh, we should follow the science. Well, yes, let's follow the science. Men are taller, faster, and stronger. And let's stop pretending that it is not the case.